Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunatu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om बोले श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. हरिओम. Welcome to this new episode of Chinmaya Yoga. Commit to win and win you will. So several stages of experiencing the unity of mind. I am that one consciousness. To experience that, we go through, it does not happen in a straight line. It is not a linear process. It takes a very long time. It can even take many lives and many lifetimes together to experience that state of oneness. So in that part, we are looking at what Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda is speaking about self-unfoldment. How we unfold from within, how the impressions that are within, we come to know what is there inside us, and all the complexes, all the puzzles, and all the riddles that are there in the subtle consciousness of that individual, every individual, and how we overcome that. What are the ways by which we can overcome? Here, Gurudev talks about one main concept in Vedanta, which is called Vasanas. It is not a Vedantic concept alone. It is there in all of us. We call it by many words. We call it our unconscious behavior. We call it our natural habit. Many of us have different ways by which we express ourselves. Some people are very fast, some people are very slow, some people are very lazy, some people are very alert and attentive. Everybody has got different types of expressions or imprints in us, which are called vasanas. If at all we think there is a problem with us, or problem with our surroundings and problem with the world, it is a problem of the vasanas. What are these vasanas? Just like a gramophone record or just like a CD player has got its preset grooves, and then you put the record player or you put the CD player, and whatever information is contained in that groove will keep playing. You cannot put a CD player with Rama chants and expect to get music on Krishna. So whatever has been recorded in that only will play itself out. In the same way, our vasanas have been recorded in us. Every micro millimeter of the body, microscopic space of the body, the cells of the body contains our vasanas or imprints or genetic code of not only our genes of what our ancestors were, the genetic material, it also contains the imprints of our experiences through many lifetimes. Our experiences of fear, anger, hatred, jealousy, not only all the evil experiences, even all the good experiences, all the practices that we have done, abhyasa, or whatever work we have done through our thoughts, words, and actions, repetitively, all our repetitive experiences and words are stored in the biomemory of the body, and these experiences form what is called our subtle conscious mind, and it keeps throwing feelings and thoughts. Those feelings and thoughts propel us into cravings and action, Those cravings and actions make us do some work which yield results. The results become our experiences, and the experiences are again deepening the groove, deepening the memories that are stored in. So it is an endless cycle. If we have to get out of this cycle, first we have to know that we are acting out of our vasanas, or the subtle imprints that are there in our subconscious mind. And Gurudev gives a very beautiful program. It is a 4-point program, if you can call it. He says, introspect daily, detect diligently, negate ruthlessly, substitute wisely. This is the Vasana correction program in us. Introspect daily means sit every day at night when you go to sleep, go through the whole day and look into what all happened throughout the day, how you responded with words and actions, what kind of thoughts did you think, what thoughts I thought about this incident or this happening. Mostly it happens only when the incidents are something that we don't like really. When we are in a difficult situation, only then our natural vasanas or natural expressions freely begin to flow out. When people are good to us, we just are very normal. But suppose somebody says something that we don't like, only then immediately the anger, the rage, the physical assault, all these habits are very automatic. It comes only when we are pushed a little bit in life. So every day, sit quietly for maybe 10 minutes and introspect. Introspect means look within. Spect means looking. Spectre is a scene, a scenery. You look at the scenery within. Gurudev says, if you try to do this, your first few days analysis report may read as the narration of the ideal life lived by some god, because we do not like to criticize ourselves, we do not like to feel bad about ourselves. So the mind will show you what are all the beautiful things that you did that day, how beautifully you responded to every situation in the beginning. But nevertheless, continue the practice, seek to discover weaknesses, faults, and anomalies in each day's total transactions. This is known as detection. Introspect and then detect. Once you detect, maybe I detect that in this situation, I should have been a little calm in my response, but I was angry. Just note that detection. Don't glorify that detection. Don't say, don't give a very glorious touch to your anger or any quality that you have, any negative quality that you may notice in yourself. Don't appreciate or don't depreciate. The Yoga Sutra says the way to approach what is completely negative or something that can cause papa karma is upeksha. Ignore that quality. Note it down and ignore it. There are certain things, ignore it or negate it. Say no. This is not something that I would like to have. This is not something in my personality. It is as simple as that. Out of anger, you record some music. You play the music, you don't like that music. It is very irritating. It is very jarring to the ear. It's a very simple process of deleting that recording and recording afresh. So this detecting part helps you to look into what you have done and then realize, yes, maybe this is good. I can continue with this kind of action in my life. This is not so good, telling a lie, or people say white lies for no reason. Of course, the reason why people say lies is they don't want to hurt the other person. They love the other person so much that they feel very sad if they have to tell the truth to them, and so they lie. But if it becomes a constant habit, then it becomes a part of our personality. And what is a lie? We have a thought within and we speak some other thought without. So, in the recording that we have in our imprints, there is the jarring note. The thought within says there is some record inside, and on top of that, there is an overwriting of that record with some other words that we speak. And so that is called lying. So if we notice all these qualities, first detect them, note them down, be impersonal about them, don't give them too much attention, don't feel sorrowful for them, don't cry over them, don't be very upset and worried about them, because whatever expression you give and you think about those thoughts, they are going to become deeper impressions. Whether you like a person or not, if you punch out of joy or out of anger, the degree may vary, but the punch will definitely cause an impression in the other person. So, what do we do when we don't like something? Negation. Negate, ruthlessly negate. Just because I love myself so much, I'm not going to accept anger for myself. So, if I'm angry, yes, whatever I have done is good. I've done many things nicely in life, but this anger, no, I don't want this anger anymore. So, removing the anger, detect, negate ruthlessly. Don't keep that anger. Don't live with that anger. Don't give excuses for that anger. Negate it ruthlessly. And the last one is, just because you detect it, just because you remove or you negate, it is not going to leave us because it is an imprint. So, an imprint has to be rewritten. With what do we rewrite? We substitute wisely, says Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmaya Ji. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, also, when they give many yogic practices, it is said, Vitarka Badhane Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Vitarka Badhane, when you are practicing so many things like Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, we will go to all those topics sometime. When you are practicing non-violence or non-hating other people or not non-injury, or when you are practicing the truth, or when you are practicing controlling of the sense organs, there may be situations where you may slip and fall. Instead of crying over that, every time you fall, substitute vitarka badane pratipaksha bhavanam. Take the opposite stand. If I'm not able to practice ahimsa, compulsorily practice ahimsa. Compulsory, make it, force it upon yourself to be very kind to others. Force it upon yourself to speak the truth. And when you are constantly thinking about it on a day-to-day basis, and when you are constantly focusing on this, then the Pratipaksha Bhavana will start working. You try to do it for 4 days, 5 days, automatically on the 5th day, the mind will give a pause. When I want to tell a lie, the mind will give a pause and choose some other means by which I can respond by speaking the truth. So instead of letting all these negative habits becoming part of our personality, the whole talk, the whole aspect of personality recorrection is by following these 4 ways. That means introspect daily, every day, sit quietly for 10 minutes to 15 minutes before you go to bed at night. Take a notebook, jot down how your day went today. Look at all those places where you really didn't like the way things happened. Not about what you got in life. What you got in life is a result of the past. The result of my past actions, the result of my past thoughts and past words bring me my experiences day to day. But what I do with that is what is my contribution to change my future. So introspect daily, detect diligently, negate, detect diligently means Be very diligent, be very dedicated in detecting what is good and what is not good about yourself. Not for comments, not for criticism, but observation and transformation. For this purpose, detect diligently. Once you have detected and you don't like something about what you have done, what you have spoken, or what you have thought, negate ruthlessly. Be ruthless with yourself. Gurudev says it's transformative to be ruthless with yourself, mistakes of others, and be very compassionate with the mistakes of others. Usually we are other way around. We are ruthless with the mistakes of others and we are very compassionate with our own selves. Substitute, negate ruthlessly, and substitute wisely. Substitute wisely is whatever quality I have exhibited. If it is anger, substitute it with calmness. If it is angry words, substitute it with calm words. If it's shouting at the top of my voice for convincing somebody or in an argument, then consciously be aware of that and speak in soft tones. Speak softly. Speak the truth. If you if you want to get up in the morning, one day you get up late, past the alarm time. Next day you get past the alarm time. Keep watching that you are getting past the alarm time. And remember that you want to get up early and consciously make some effort. A little bit of effort is enough. Our habits, our, uh, our effort to change is actually, if we know the reality, if we know the technique, it is very simple. It is like the habit is like a big highway. Good habits are like a highway. You are finding difficulty because you are struggling to enter into the highway. The entry into the highway is a small ramp, is a small method, a small technique, or a small tool. You can figure that out. What is going to be a small tool? Your small tool can be when I get up in the morning, I will take 3 deep breaths, even as I'm lying down. Take a deep breath. 1. Take another deep breath. 2. Take another deep breath. 3. I will smile. And Gurudev talks about that. Gurudev says one point, I will read that out to you. So I will take 3 deep breaths. I will smile. I will touch my heart and I will say, I commit myself to create a joyful day. I commit myself to create a loving day. Or I commit myself to create a beautiful day. Whatever it is that you want, instead of waiting for it to happen, commit yourself to it. This can be the small beginning for your habit. You do that. It can be just taking deep breaths, a nice broad smile, even if you feel very grumpy, smile, and then just say, I commit myself to doing this or doing that. And then proceed to the next action. On a day-to-day basis, remember to do this until you get into the habit. Remember to do at least this one thing. Gurudev says, certainly today your mind orders your actions, and yet the reverse is not only true, but also highly effectual. Physical pose and poise can generate a corresponding attitude in the mind. Look in the mirror. It's exactly what I was just saying. You can either get up and not see the mirror and do it, or you can look into the mirror and do. Look in a mirror while keeping your face contorted. This is only for an experience sake, he's saying, not to do every day. Keep your face contorted or into a sorrowful expression. Look into the mirror. Maintain it for 2 or 3 minutes. Now watch your mind. See how your mind has also become sorrowful. Is it not feeling despondent, miserable, dejected? Again, look in the mirror and smile away. After a minute, watch and discover that the mind has caught up with the cheer and ripples away in joy. Try, says Gurudev. And in another point, even though Gurudev has always been speaking from the point of Jnana Yoga, on quietening the mind, removing the impurities of the mind through bhakti, through devotion, and remembering who I am. That's a path of Jnana Yoga through Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. In many places, Gurudev also speaks on concepts of Hatha Yoga, which are exactly not told as Hatha Yoga. In his life, he was, his posture, his talking, his behavior, his attitude was like a Hatha Yogi. Hatha Yogi means one who is physically in the state of yoga, keeping the body in the state of yoga. The way Gurudev walked, the way he talked, the way he conducted himself, everything was a yogic posture. You could have never seen him slump his head down, sit like this with a hunch. None of these un-yogic postures you could have seen Gurudev, though he was not a practitioner of yoga as such. So Gurudev says here, therefore, let our physical assets of standing, these are all assets. If I'm able to stand, oh wow, I should thank the universe for that. If I'm able to sit, I should thank the universe. Physical assets of standing and sitting erect at all times begin to play their influence upon the mind. If I sit erect, the mind behaves in a particular way. If I sit with a slump, the mind behaves in another way. Begin to play their influence upon the mind. Frequently watch and deliberately straighten the backbone. This is what Hatha Yoga is all about. When we do our asanas and pranayama, and especially all the asanas, our backbone gets stretched, elongated. It is very healthy and strong. It is the connective factor that sends messages through to the brain from different parts of the body through the central nervous system, which is hidden inside the spinal cord. So, let us deny ourselves the tendency to hunch and relax into torpid idleness. To relax is okay, but not to be idle. Relaxing consciously is shavasana, into torpid idleness. When our body is erect, our organs perform their physiological functions more efficiently. When the body is erect, when the posture is erect, the different systems of the body are functioning very well. Let us carry our head erect, shoulder well pushed back, chest always high, and let us consciously breathe deeply. This is what before every yoga class the teachers will insist. What do they say? Spine erect, shoulders relaxed. How to relax the shoulders? Lift up the shoulders, lift them up, high, and drop. Drop the shoulders. Chin is parallel to the floor, and head is held straight up, not slunging forward, lunging forward. Head is up. Take deep breaths. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. And here the conscious effort. When I said about, we may have wrong habits, we may have wrong practices of the mind and body, but being aware of that and consciously making a change. One of the simple wrong practice that most of us have at all times is not breathing the right way. When we inhale, the lungs expand because the lungs are like balloons. They expand when they are filled with air. The lungs, which are expanded, push the diaphragm, which is a soft muscle, push the diaphragm down. And because of that motion of the diaphragm, the stomach also expands and gets pushed out. So when we inhale, the chest has to expand, the abdomen has to expand. If it is not expanding, consciously practice yogic breathing of expanding the chest and pushing out the abdomen. And as we exhale, the abdomen may not contract on its own. Consciously bring back the abdomen in and allow the lungs to push out the air automatically. We don't need to do anything about breathing out. It is a very simple and automatic process. When we do this, we clear a lot of our space in the lungs, and because of fresh air going inside, the brain, which is receiving the supply of oxygen, is also very oxygenated and is able to think very clearly and very sharply. So, this is the process of um, breathing in deeply, Hatha yogic practice. Similarly, growing optimistic thoughts, heroic and divine ideals have a powerful and uplifting effect upon the body. Hopeful plans and programs lend a spring to our strides and attract buoyancy to come forward into the daily fields of our honest labor. So, we want to be successful in our life. The way to be successful is to keep our body in a fit condition, keep the body healthy by eating healthy food, and keep the posture erect. Keep it very dynamic by keeping the posture erect and breathing deeply, inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. And the rest of the body, keeping it in a relaxed condition and also focusing on having optimistic thoughts. There are two possibilities. We can have pessimistic thoughts about everything, we can have optimistic thoughts. There is a person called Brian Katie. She calls something, she has gone through a very difficult experience in life for 15 years. And because of that, she has gathered some kind of a wisdom for herself, which she calls it the work. She says, when I say about optimistic thoughts or reality, being with reality, how to be with reality, how to think in tune with reality. She says, whenever you look at something, whenever you hear something, or talk about something, or whenever you are listening to something, and whenever you see something, some situation, or some person or object, ask yourself, and you don't like it. If you really don't like it, ask yourself 4 questions. That's called the work. Every thought that you get, every feeling that you have, ask these 4 questions. Is it the truth? Is it the absolute truth? Who am I? Um, in what way is this disturbing me? Or in what way is this affecting me? This thought, or this feeling, or these words, or these sentences, or this situation? First, is it the truth? Is it the absolute truth? In what way is it affecting me? And who am I without this? When you go through these 4 steps, there is an amazing result at the end of it. Suppose you say somebody is angry with me, and we are very angry because of that. If you look into the mirror and ask these 4 questions alone by yourself, then the answers will be very truthful because you're seeing yourself in the mirror. Somebody is angry with me. This person is angry with me. Is it the truth? Yes, that day he was angry with me. He shouted at me. Is it the absolute truth? Every day is he shouting at you? Then the sentence falls flat. It is not the absolute truth. But that one day he shouted at me. So, okay, because he shouted at you, and you believe that he shouted at you, and you don't want to let go because it's not the absolute truth, you're holding on to that truth. At that moment, what happened? In what way is it hurting you? I'm not able to sleep. I'm having palpitation of the heart. I'm not able to breathe properly. I feel very nervous. I feel very tense. My whole day is spoiled because of this. So it is affecting you a great deal. You just watch that whatever thought you're holding on to or whatever feeling you have is actually affecting you. And then what happens? Who am I without this? Suppose this person did not speak to me like this. Suppose I did not get this anger. Suppose I don't have all these disturbances that are happening to me. Who am I? I'm a very happy go lucky, joyful, jolly, happy person. My state of happiness has been disturbed because of this. So, is it a wise thing to drop it or not drop it? We will be able to take the decision after this. And this is one method of quietening the mind. So, these vasanas are our problem. That's a topic for today, actually. These vasanas or imprints. Whenever we are doing something, for example, an Olympic runner is practicing athletics every day, or a gymnast is practicing gymnastics. A chess player is practicing the moves of chess. These are not vasanas, These are abhyasa. Because of abhyasa, we have conscious imprints in our mind, conscious practices that we have done in our life. Playing a musical instrument or studying very diligently for our subjects, playing playing a sport, or constantly going to the temple, or constantly doing pujas or praying. These are all constant practices that we do in our life, which are called abhyasa, and they form imprints in our mind. So those imprints will constantly make us do those actions. They create feelings and they create thoughts, and those thoughts are going to benefit us because they take us close to ourselves. But there are certain things or many things that we don't consciously do. We unconsciously behave, we unconsciously shout, we unconsciously tell lies, we unconsciously do not listen to right advice, we unconsciously do so many wrong things in our life, and those unconscious actions and thoughts create impressions in us called, they are called vasanas. We don't need to do anything about abhyasa. We just have to keep practicing them or letting them go. Whatever it is, the choice is ours. But regarding vasanas, we have to work them out. There are many ways of working out vasanas. One way is through bhakti yoga, or devotion to Ishvara is one main way of working out our vasanas. The other way, any other different way other than bhakti, will always have the sense of I in that. Only in this path of bhakti, without the sense of I, when there is devotion, when there is love and selfless service, vasanas get worked out very easily. We will continue with this topic for next week's talk. And so, till then, just keep reminding ourselves maybe what are the good impressions that we carry with us, what are all the good practices that we have imbibed in our life, what are all the unwanted practices or habits that we are cultivating. Introspect daily, detect diligently, negate ruthlessly, substitute wisely. Om Sarvesham Swastirбhavatu, Sarvesham Shantirbhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, सर्वेषां मंगलं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसोर्मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा मृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। बोले श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। हरि ओम।